Hi, my name is Stephanie, and I'm going to be talking to you today about what I learned in my communications class. My instructor was Kelly, and because this is on YouTube, I will not be using any last names. Now, I want to start by talking about impromptu speeches. This is actually an impromptu speech. I decided to use this method because it was something that I enjoyed learning about very much, and I enjoyed learning about how to just go for it, which is something very important. On page page 362, it talks about methods of presentation, impromptu speech being one of them. What an impromptu speech is a speech given without any background or any specific preparation. Now, one of the very important things about giving a speech, especially an impromptu speech, is eye contact. Now, in this instance, with uh, an electronic device, it makes it difficult because I want to look at the screen, but I need to look at the camera in order to make eye contact. So, therefore I am. Now, there are many different types of eye contact, such as too much, where you just stare at the person. It's not pleasant. And little, where you look around and you look down and you never actually make eye contact with the person. The right way to do it is explained on page 124 of our Human Communications book. Um, there is eye contact and eye avoidance. What you don't want to do is avoid eye contact because it makes for poor presentation and also for poor reception of feedback that you give others when they're talking to you or communicating with you. Eye contact has a lot of functions, as I mentioned earlier, feedback toward others, but it really gives a sense of connection with your audience or just peers, if you're talking to just peers, in the different types of group settings you may be in. Speaking of group settings, I would like to talk about um, nonverbal cues as well as distance and proximity when communicating with a certain group of people. Table 6.3 on page 125 spells this out perfectly. There are four different relationships listed that um, come with a different uh, distance um, necessity. For example, an intimate relationship, you can be very close to one another. It says 0 inches to 18 inches, which could be very close. You have a close proximity in order to communicate well and really get that connection. A personal relationship is a little different because you're not intimate, but you do know this person and you want to be able to have a good conversation with them. Personal distance is about 1 foot to 4 feet. Now, this really helped me because I had struggled with the distance and perhaps too much or too little of eye contact or just respecting personal space. Social relationships are different. It's about 4 feet to 12 feet, sitting at a table or across from one another at a dinner or something. It's more professional, and it's usually to communicate something not talked about on a normal basis. Along with a public relationship where, for example, the president speaking to an audience, or even a teacher, such as Kelly, teaching communications to us students, which I've learned a lot in this class, and it's hard to sum it all up, but eye contact, distance in relationships, and impromptu have been the things that I've taken out of this class the most. So thank you, Kelly.